Hello, digital learners. Here I am back with more information, more analysis of finance. Now, today's topic is going to be a very important topic that we all face in our daily lives is how to manage the assets and liabilities in a business. Now, to prepare a balance sheet and analyze it for analyzing a company or maybe making a decision about investing in a company, whether it's a stock or let's say it's a business or it's because many people want to invest a certain amount of money in a startup. So how to analyze balance sheet, because this is the basic concept, because I'll be going further detail after that. But this video is a basic beginner guide to balance sheet. So even if you are a science student, you can easily understand the balance sheet. Now, balance sheet is basically a position of a company on a given date. Now, given date means on a particular date, which means that if a balance sheet is prepared on 31st March 2021, then it means that's the position of the business on that day. So if a transaction happens after that, the balance sheet won't reflect that position. It's a historical based statement. So that's why it's called created on historical basis, which is one of the limitations also of the balance sheet. But this is not a theory class. So I'm going to go the practical way. So now balance sheet is simple. Basically, for any business, you need to have some assets and some liabilities, because to run a business, you need assets. Now, assets are basically uh, assets are basically furnitures and fixtures, plant and machinery, and basically it could be a goodwill or patent which helps you earn money in the future, so that you can build your shareholders wealth, which I discussed in the previous video. You can always have a look. So assets are basically of two types. One is a fixed assets, and the other is the current assets. There's also intangible assets, which is I'm going to discuss. That's a separate topic. So I will not be discussing intangible assets in this video. I will be talking about separately in a video, because that has to be dealt in greater detail. So in the fixed asset, as I talked about, it's for future benefit and is used for long period of time. The gestation period or the investment period is very, very long. It could be 5, 10 years, 20 years in some cases. And now the current assets is the basically the assets that accrue to the firm in a short term basis, like for 1 year. Like it's a prepaid rent, which means that if rent is paid in advance, it is mentioned as prepaid rent. Now the prepaid rent is mentioned as an asset, current asset in the balance sheet. It is mentioned as a uh, it is deducted from the actual insurance when we prepare the profit loss statement. So this is how it's treated. And then there's the prepaid rent, pre, there's prepaid salary as well. If salary is paid 3 months in advance, or let's say 6 months salary for an individual of let's say department is paid in advance, it is treated in the same way as prepaid rent or prepaid insurance is paid. So these are current assets. The cash is one of the most liquid current assets, because cash can be exchanged very quickly. Because if you look at it, prepaid rent takes time because it cannot be encased right away. It takes time. Cash is the most liquid asset, as it can be encashed in a quick period of time. Because that's the reason I told you that the cash position is the number one thing that people and investors look at while valuing a company, while judging whether you should invest or not. So my suggestion is it's out of the record. But the thing is that if you're investing in a company, do look at the cash position. The cash position tells you how likely it is to grow or how likely it is to appreciate if you want returns from a stock. So these are the basic current assets. There are other current assets as well, but those are not that important. These are the main important assets. Like the other asset like sundry debtors, which is basically like if you sell something, because every business has to sell something to earn money. So if you sell someone, that person becomes your debtor. You have to receive money from that person in a limited period of time. So the quicker the amount is recovered from your debtors, the better your position financially is. So if you have a long cycle of getting money for the debtors, if it's more than 90 days, then it's not considered good. But in some businesses like manufacturing, actually this is a prevalent practice. In the service industry, generally you should get the money within 30 days or sometimes even less. So these are sundry debtors. Uh, Now I'm going to come up to the liability side. Now, liability side is divided into two parts, much like the asset side. It's similar because we have the owner's capital, which is divided into share capital, reserve surplus, retained earnings, and there could be other reserves like there is a revaluation reserve, there is a sometimes accumulated depreciation reserve as well. So these reserves come into the picture. Uh, and of course, share capital is basically the authorized capital of the company, which is authorized in its MOA, which is Memorandum of Association, which is part of the Companies Act, which is another vast topic which I will be discussing in a separate video. So authorized capital of the company is the capital that the company is permitted to issue. So if the authorized is 10 lakh, so it cannot issue more shares than 10 lakh. It can only issue 10 lakh shares in the market. That is the maximum. That is subject to fulfilling certain conditions. Now, what happens is the equity capital and the preference capital. The equity capital is basically the promoter of the company. It gets the maximum profit, maximum risk is there. Preference capital, as the name suggests, is the category of shareholders who get paid before the equity are paid. So the first preference will be given to them. So they will be paid first. After the debtors have been paid, preference shareholders will be paid first, and then the equity shareholders will be paid. So this is how it's done. That's why it is said equity shareholders can carry the maximum risk. They also reap the rewards of dividend and capital appreciation. Now coming to the current liabilities part. Before that, I have got the reserves. So the reserves and surplus basically the reserve kept for meeting expansion needs. So it could be for contingency like uh, market cycle changes, like COVID, like this happened. So for that meeting needs of employees, so you could have an uh, employee compensation reserve as well. So there are many kinds of reserve. These reserves are used for contingencies or for sometimes issuing bonus shares to shareholders. So, and now we come to the current liabilities part, which is divided into uh, short-term loans, and you've got the bills payable, same like bills receivable, which again is not very significant. It's similar to sunny debtors. So bills receivable, like you write a bill that I will pay you after a certain date, and the amount is written and it has to be paid within that certain date. So that's bills receivable. So in the case of liabilities of bills payable, much like sundry creditors are there. So if you buy something from someone, you have to pay them back. So that's how the creditor term comes, because it has to be paid to them after a certain period of time. The lower the settlement date for creditors, the high better it is. Much like, so if you pay them back much quicker, then it improves your credit standing and the business tends to be doing well, and it creates a good reputation in the market. So these are the basic current liabilities that I've talked about. Now coming to the most important part of the balance sheet after the equity is the long-term debt. Now long-term debt, as I talked about, is of many types. The ventures is also long-term debt along with the bank loan or the overdraft facility that is drawn. Now, overdraft can also be a long-term loan, because sometimes the overdraft is extended beyond a year. If it's less than a year, generally it's considered as a current liability, so it will come as a short-term loan. So this is basically overdraft facility provided basically on the based on the finances of the company and the amount of bank balance that the user is or the customer is maintaining. So this is the basic explanation of the balance sheet. Now, in that topic, I can also talk about fictitious assets, which is going to be taken up in the next video, and in future videos we'll be talking about the ratio analysis, how we can analyze the balance sheet using the ratios. And do not forget to like and share this video if you like it, and of course you can follow me on Instagram at Succeed with Mohit. You can DM me on my Facebook page Business Tips. Thank you so much for watching this video. Like and share, and do refer this video to as many friends as possible. Thank you.